All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's go back and remind you all that I once sent you a additional draft on your test 3 what? Study guide, okay? I did send you a new draft that was revised and updated, so please look that over so that you're completely informed and aware of what you'll be having on your test 3 on Monday. What's the date on Monday? Yes, I believe it's the 13th for test number 3, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. Now, all righty. So, ladies and gentlemen, what's going to be on your test is we're going to share with you guys an estimation. It's going to be just as easy as what we've been doing, maybe even easier. But you first have to understand and know what is a proportion, generally speaking, and you actually know what it is. Okay, it's a proportion, and we use the letter P. Does anybody know what is the meaning of a proportion? This is it's a proportion is a fancy, it's a general way to talk what? Probability or what? Or percent. P for what? Proportion, which is a probability, or it is a percent, okay? So have you guys been dealing with probabilities and percents? Say yes. Yes. So generally speaking, P is going to represent, again, a true proportion. A true proportion is one that's from a population. Okay, so the formal definition is X over big N, where you guys want to know X is the number of what? Successes. We count successes. Big N is the population size. Okay, so we have to talk about that, population size. Now we know about that already. Big N. X counts successes here. But of course, we're going to have to take a sample. So we have something called a sample proportion. A sample proportion, ladies and gentlemen, is a proportion from a sample. And we designate the difference with P hat, okay? And that's the same definition. The only difference is you now have a sample and a sample size N, okay? That's your sample size. X still counts successes here. So X will be the number of what? Successes. And N is the sample size. Okay? So that's kind of what we're doing here. Yes? Yep. So, you know, we get to do a few things here. This is kind of where it gets, I think, in some ways, a bit interesting. Maybe. So let me give you guys some examples of sample proportions because it's an important thing to do. Okay, so you might say, hey, Mr. Judge, can you give me some examples of sample proportions? Sure. Okay, so I'm going to compute based on a sample the proportion of women in class. Okay, you go, Mr. Judge, what do you mean the proportion of women Yeah, I'm going to take a sample. Okay, like if I ask you guys, hey, raise your hand if you're a woman. Raise your hand. Okay? I got to count successes. If your hand is up, that means you're a what? Woman, and that means I'm counting successes. How many women? Raise your hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, let's say there's 9. That's 9 successes. And I'm going to say maybe there's going to be, ladies and gentlemen, 15 students in class or so. Okay? Oops, sorry. Let me go back. Made a mistake. Yes. You had 9 successes. The sample size was 15. What is your sample proportion? Do you guys know? 9 out of what? 15. Okay? So you might say, okay, I'm going to clear this out. The sample proportion is 9 divided by what? 15. And what is this equal to? It's point what? 0.6. Okay? Isn't that the same as a probability? And isn't that the same as saying 60%? So what we can say is 60%, ladies and gentlemen, of the sample is of who? Women. You guys see my point? Yes, you ladies. Of course. Yes. So I'm going to give you guys another example of what a sample proportion is. So you guys are very clear. It's a probability. It's a percent. You've been working with that for a long time. It's just they use the phrase proportion, and that's enough to get people to say, oh, that's a new word I've never heard. Now, here's another example I'm going to say to you guys in class. Now, this is in general. Now that there's more people in the room, okay, fine. What's the sample proportion of students who believe in ghosts? You go, believe in ghosts? Yes. Do you believe in ghosts? Guess what? I'm going to count successes because I'm going to ask you, hey, tell me, ladies and gentlemen, how many people here believe in ghosts? Raise your hand high and proud. Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 people. 13 successes out of how many students? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22 students. Okay? We want the sample what? Oops. What is the sample proportion? You've got to write down the word. Okay, here we go. Let's find out. What's the definition of a sample proportion, right? P hat is going to be what again? 13 out of 22, okay? Now, this is a fraction, and fractions can be written how? As decimals. So now, 13 divided by what? 22. What is this? It's 0.59 what? Yeah, if we go to the thousandths, okay? Tell me, what is this as a decimal to the thousandths? 0. Point what? 591. You guys okay? Now, what does that mean? That's the decimal. What is this to the as a percentage? 59 point what? 59.1%. So you guys get a good feel for this? You should, because this is the same exact thing as working with a relative frequency or a probability. It's all the same, ladies and gentlemen. It's a relative frequency, it's a probability, it's a percent. We call this a sample proportion, a proportion that comes from a what? Sample. All right, now, let's go back to our $1 million worksheet. You go, Mr. Judge, is this all in the worksheet? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Let's go back. Hopefully we sell this to Bill Gates or who, well, not Bill Gates, sorry. Elon, not even Elon Musk, I don't know. Sell it to Oprah. Maybe Oprah will what? Who should we sell it to? Somebody. Yeah, maybe. All right. There we go. You guys remember this? This is your worksheet. We're now going to estimate what? A true what? Proportion. That's a proportion from a population. Estimating P. It's the same exact format, ladies and gentlemen. However, we're going to use what? The TI calculator. Okay, so this is the deal. And yes, it'll be the Z distribution, so you guys know. Same idea of confidence level. Same confidence levels, 99%, 95%, 90%. And yes, and you'd have to use the Z table, the standard normal distribution back in the day. Did it all by hand with these other calculators. Now we have some technology. I'm going to share with you guys how to go through some questions, okay? Easy peasy what? Lemon squeezy. It's about reading language and process. Okay. What does it say? Fast food order what? Now, this is something everybody can relate to or should relate to. Have you ever had the experience where you ordered some food and it was not accurate? And you get really angry? All right. That's what they're talking about. Or do you think some food chains are worse than others? Maybe. Maybe. Maybe you don't want to order from a particular McDonald's or a particular Jack in the Box or a particular, I don't know, whatever, Burger King. But let's read this. This is a study on fast food order accuracy. All right. What does it say? Mickey D's. This is a study about McDonald's. Okay, Mickey D's had what? 28 orders that were not accurate. Out of 402 orders. You guys see what I'm saying here as we read this? All right, 28 orders were not accurate out of how many? 402. And then what do they say? Good. To do what? That are not accurate. Good job, ladies and gentlemen. You guys see the point? This is all in my $1 million notes. If you guys downloaded it, you can. Okay, $1 million notes. Let's identify what they gave us, okay? I'm going to say, let me give you a hint. You say, Mr. Judge, where's mu? Well, mu is not today. It was in the past. This is now P. Why? It's a true proportion, a true percent. From all Mickey D's, not just, all orders, not just 402 in our sample size. You guys okay with that? You go, oops, you just told me the sample size, Mr. Judge. Well, how can we figure this out? They had 28 orders that were not accurate out of what? 402. When they say out of, that means that's your what? Yes, it's the sample size. Because it's out of what? 400 and what? 2 orders. Then what is X? And what is X counting? Orders that are not accurate. So X counts so this is a success. X equals the number of what? Not accurate orders. I want you guys to understand that because they're looking at this rate of being not what? Accurate. They didn't say being accurate, not accurate. So here's the point. Our sample has done what? They gave us X equal to 28. The sample size was what? And what is our confidence level? Guess what, ladies and gentlemen? We're practically done. All we had to do was read and understand what was the X value, what was N, what's the confidence level. And they're telling you this. All right? Just doing what? Reading. Okay. So when you guys complain about statistics, you go, oh, that course is so hard. I'll say, really? I say, that math is so hard. I'll say, really? You're using a what? TI calculator. At least be accurate in when you complain. Do you guys know what I mean? All right. Say, are you being sassy this morning? I'm preparing for my meeting. I got a sassy meeting today. I'm the guy negotiating this IGETC standards. I don't even want to open that Area 2 math, IGETC. You're looking at the man. Anyway, I don't want to talk about it. Let's finish this. You say, Mr. Judge, what are we doing today? One proportion what? Z interval. Today, there's one proportion Z distribution. It's an interval we're finding. So one proportion Z interval, if I were you, I'd write that down. One proportion Z what? Interval. One proportion Z interval. Okay, you guys here we go. Let's go to our TI. We're going to go to, again, stat test. Remember that? It's the procedures are in my $1 million notes. Stat test, one proportion Z interval. Okay, you guys okay with that? That's where you're going to go. Okay, let's make sure we have our information. Okay, so here we go. Stat test. Hey, where's one proportion Z interval? It's number what? Did you guys see it? Is it number 5? No. It's not? I don't know. Oh, good. Thank you for being awake. Good job, ladies and gentlemen. Let's keep going. Where's one proportion Z interval? Keep going down. Where? They ran out of numbers, and then they started with letters. It's capital A. So you got to go down to A. One proportion Z interval. Press enter, ladies and gentlemen. What do you guys see? You need, yeah, look at that. That's all. This is easier. It's not harder, it's easier. I need X. What was X? 28. What is N? 402. Good job. What's the confidence level? Look at that, ladies and gentlemen. Just enter the three numbers you read. And then hit what? Calculate. Let's see what this says to us. Now, I asked you guys to go to the thousands position here, okay? So the first number to the thousandths would be 0.037. Good job. Now, that'll be less than P. Let's do the second number to the thousandths. That's point what? 102. And you're done. You got the lower value and you got the what? Upper value. This is a true proportion. And let's not forget what this means again. These are probabilities, they're percents. So this is about what? 3.7%, and this is 10 point what? 2%, and this is with 99% what? Confidence again. Confidence being, if you conducted this sample an arbitrary large number of times, okay, of sample size 402, 99% of the sample proportions will be between 3.7% and 10.2%. You have estimated the true proportion of non-accurate orders. And that's it. Easy peasy lemon what? Squeezy. What do you guys, isn't that easier? It is. Remember, do I have this on your summary sheet for your test? Yes, I do. I will send you that sheet again. Maybe you guys can review prior to your test. But I provide it for you. I give it to you guys. You get to use it on your what? Test in case you forget. But please do your homework. Because that's where you get the what? Practice. People turn in my answers pretending they did their homework and they never practice. And they don't even know what to put in their calculator. And that's heartbreaking because I spend all my time and energy doing these notes and the summary sheet. And people just, they take me for granted. Good. You'll regret it. Taking Mr. Judge for granted. They all regret it. I just ask all my exes. They all wanted to come back. After taking me for granted, I never took them back. They all wanted to be back. You guys know what I mean? You're probably too young to know what I mean. You're way too young. Anyway. Medical malpractice lawsuits? Does that happen? I'm giving you guys more realistic kind of settings. Medical malpractice lawsuits. Let's read. You guys want to read? What does it say? In a study of what? 1,300 malpractice lawsuits. Okay, what are they saying? 835 were what? Dropped or dismissed. It's interesting. Out of 1,300 lawsuits, 835 were dropped or dismissed. Thrown out. That's what Trump wants. His case to be thrown out, and they didn't throw it out. Okay, what do they say? Construct the 95% confidence interval, estimating the what? True proportion of lawsuits that were dropped or dismissed. So when they say estimate the true proportion, that's not mu, that is what? P. You guys okay with that? All righty. Okay, now we're going to have to read the red. What does that mean? If they say a study of 1,300, a study is the same as a sample, What does that mean? Good job. N is 1300. You guys okay with that? Then that must mean, what were the successes? What is X? 835. Oh, man. What's the confidence level? 95%. Good job. I'm going to label that confidence level. So what I'm going to do here, again, I do it in red. Your sample. Let's write it down. N is what? 1300. X is what? 835. What's the confidence level? 95%. So 0.95. I recommend, this is a Z distribution, I recommend you even memorize one proportion Z interval. I recommend you write that down because that helps you remember what to use in the TI. This is a memorization kind of technique. Write things down so you can memorize things. Write it down. And now we get to use the TI. What do you guys think? Easy peasy lemon squeezy? Okay. Stat. Test. Remember, we got to go all the way down to the letters now. We got to go to A to find one proportion Z interval. Press enter. Now be careful here, because why should we be careful? You wrote down N before you wrote down X. You guys with me on that? Okay, what does the calculator say we put first? What is X? 835. Good. And then what's N? 1300. Good. And then what's the confidence level? 0.95. And then hit what? Calculate. Oops. I went too fast. The good news is if you guys go too fast, it'll be there in the memory. See that? It's in the memory. Okay. What's the answers? Go to the thousands here. 0.61 what? Less than what? P less than point what? 668. Is that true? And I'm going to point out to you guys something. You see that second number, by the way? It's like a P with a hat. To the thousandths, that's 0.642. That's the TI's version of the sample proportion. They didn't ask you for that answer, though, but I'm going to say that to you guys. That second number is a sample proportion. The first number was the lower bound because you're getting an interval estimate. The last number was an upper bound. And in the middle, that's P. Here's my point to you guys. 61.6%, 66.8%, 64.2%, and now, ladies and gentlemen, there is the deal. You've answered the questions. (61.6%) to 66.8%. The true proportion lives between those two numbers. And that's the proportion of lawsuits that are dismissed or what? Or dropped. That's an estimate of the true proportion here. What do you guys think? Easy peasy lemon squeezy? Man, that's so wonderful. What do you guys think? I do have an announcement. I don't know what I can say. What do we say? Just say, if you guys are interested in an experiment, a statistics experiment, it's not mine, it's a fellow student's in class. I won't mention who. Mindfulness meditation study. This is a study on mindfulness meditation. Here's the flyer. Come join us in the library, second floor, 209. to participate in a brief mindfulness study. Snacks will be provided for participants. There's 3 days. Monday at noon, Tuesday 1:30 to 3:30, Thursday from 10 to 2, Friday from 8 to noon. Your participation is greatly appreciated. If you have any questions, feel free to contact. Here's an email. Mindfulness meditation study. Whatever that even means. You don't have to know. On the way out, you guys can pick it up. Mindfulness meditation. Okay. All right. Let's try this again. You guys ready? Easy peasy lemon squeezy. I did put the instructions. 1 proportion Z interval. Everybody's going to get an A. Is that right? Good job. Smoking, I'm not even going to ask. This is a new era. I don't even know what they mean by smoking. In a program designed to help people to stop smoking, 200 patients were given sustained care in which, it says in which 85.5% were no longer smoking and were biochemically confirmed. Use the 99, okay, I'm going to get this out here. In a program, that's like a study, to help people stop smoking, 200 patients were given sustained care. I don't even know what sustained care is. Doesn't even matter. And what did they find? 85.5% were no longer smoking, and that was biochemically confirmed. Okay. Use what? 90% confidence level to what? Estimate the true proportion of people who receive sustained care who will stop smoking. So this is a sample only of how many people? 200. Oh, what does that mean? Yes, that's the sample size. Now let's see if you're awake. Be careful here, though. Be careful. What does 85.5% mean? Careful. It's a percent. It's a percent from a what? Sample. Go, wait. They can be nice and give me the percent? Sure. They just did. They told you this is not successes. This is not X. This is the sample proportion. Okay. All right. Now you might say, okay, what was the confidence level? 90%. And then estimate what? The true proportion. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have to think about this, okay? We're going to have to think. What did they give me when we read? The sample size is what? Good. What's your sample proportion? Oh, okay. And then what's the confidence level? How do you write 90 as a decimal? Good. And then you say, I took Mr. Judge's advice to write down the TI command. 1 proportion what? Z interval.
Do we have to find 85.5% for 200?
Now, if you're awake, you might say, hold the fort, hold the fort. I have an issue here. When I go to stat tests and I go down to the 1 proportion Z interval, A I do not see a field for sample proportion. I see X as a percentage. You say, Mr. Judge, I have a problem. Okay, let me help you fix that problem. Okay? Go back. I hate to say it. We're going to use a little bit of algebra, so forgive me. Forgive me. The dirtiest word in math. Okay. I know. Did I say I have a meeting at noon? I have a meeting with the CSUs and math and competency and blah, blah, blah. And the UCs. Believe it or not, with IGETSI, they want you to take, for certain, they want you to take one course for your math requirement, right? So what's going on here in a particular, there's a battle over a course, I won't name it. The UCs don't want to accept. And they're saying, we don't want to accept this course. No, it's not stats. They accepted the stats. It's another course. And they pointed out the issues. So it's a battle between UCs and CSUs. But and so guess who has to mediate? You're looking at them. Tell me about it. I'm going to have to just be cool and relax. But that's the reality, in case you guys know. It's a real battle right now. It's crazy. What's the definition of sample proportion? X over N. Can I solve for X? Say yes.
Yes.
How do you do it? Should we test you? Say, Mr. Judge, don't test me. Say, don't test me. It's illegal to test me. It's illegal. There's a certain bill that says everybody knows how to do this, and you're being cruel. Everybody remember? How do you solve for X? Multiply both sides by N. Doesn't it cancel? Yeah, you guys remember. So X will be, ladies and gentlemen, N times what? That P hat, okay? So I want you guys to know this is how you can find the number of successes now, but you're going to have to approximate to the nearest what? Whole number. I just did a little bit of algebra, okay? X needs to be a whole number. If you enter the X, that's the number of successes, okay? So in this example, do you know the sample size? Yeah. Do you know the sample proportion? You got to use the decimal version. That's going to give you the value of X, okay? They're going to make you use a little bit of algebra, write down that formula. And so now, let's see, here we go. So we're going to have to take 200 times 85.5%, but the decimal representation. Oh, I messed up. 200 times point what? 855. What is it? What if it were a decimal? You approximate to the nearest what? Whole number. They were nice to you because they gave you a nice whole number as an answer. Ladies and gentlemen, there you go. You have now what? You now have X. And you have N. And you have the confidence level. You could now complete the job. What do you guys think? Is that okay? Easy peasy? All right, let's try this out. You guys ready? You guys can do this. Here we go. Stat what? Test 1 proportion what? Z interval. What is my X? What is N? And then what's the confidence level? What do you guys get as an answer? 0.814 less than P, less than what?
0.896.
And you say this with 90% what? Confidence. So, ladies and gentlemen, the true proportion lies between 81.4% and 89.6%, and that's how effective this program will be. I don't know. What do you guys think? Is that a pretty successful program? That might be okay. You guys know what I mean? I might enter it if I wanted to stop smoking. But it depends on what sustained care is. What if sustained care meant they had to remove your teeth? I'm not saying it is, but you don't have to. You got to look into the details of what they're doing. You guys see what I'm saying? Bless you. All right, smoking. Smoking, ladies and gentlemen. I think we're smoking. What do you guys think? Are we smoking? Astrology. Where are the people that believe in that? Okay. All right, what do you believe? What's your sign? You're a Gemini. Ooh. I think I know what that means because I'm married to a Gemini. I don't believe in astrology. Does that mean you're two people? No. Whatever. I don't believe it. But that's what I hear. Two what? Two faces. Okay. Anyone else? What's your sign? You're a Pisces? Why do you want to know who's a Virgo? What's the deal with Virgos and Geminis? Does that mean you're compatible? What?
They're considered the worst sign. Yeah.
Are you? What do you mean?
Yeah.
Virgos and.
I thought Gemini was the worst sign. Yeah. No, it's not working. No.
I don't understand. You guys have to educate me. Virgos and Geminis. Are they like a bad combination?
Yeah. They're considered basically two-faced. Lie straight to your face. And yeah, like they don't tell the truth at all. She's right. Yeah. She's right because my that's what they're considered. Yeah, that's what they're considered. But it's the same man. Yes.
Oh my God. Okay, hold on. When are the Virgos? When are they born? Just curious.
Late August, early August.
Oh my God. You know what that means? My wife's a Gemini. Melinda's a Virgo. Melinda's a Virgo. My wife's a Gemini. Does that mean they're a bad combination? Oh, well, that sounds about right. They do that right now. I'm the mediator there, too. I got to mediate. I'm a Libra.
You're a zebra?
Not a zebra, a Libra. And I got to balance the whole thing out. And that is interesting. I don't know. I'm just throwing that out there. Here, ladies and gentlemen, is a nice astrology question. Just so you guys can appreciate this. And again, you know, other subjects, they get to talk about all this fun stuff. Mathematicians, we got it solved for X. A sociologist gives a survey of what? 500 people on whether they believe in astrology and finds that what? 38.2% indicate they did. Okay. Use the what?
95.
To what? Estimate the true proportion of people who believe in astrology. Sounds like a lot of you guys do. Okay, that's perfectly fine. What did they say? What a survey of what? A survey to how many people? Remember, a survey is a sample. Is that right? Is that your sample size? They gave the survey to 500 people. That's a sample size. And whether they believe in astrology and finds that 38.2% indicate they do. So that's our sample proportion. You guys know how you can find out it's a sample proportion? You don't even have to, well, you have to read it, but what's that symbol? Percentage. So you can't miss it. It has a percentage symbol. If it didn't, it's X. I just saved you guys' life. 95%. What's that? Good. Okay. And estimate the true what? What's that? It's P. So, ladies and gentlemen, what's your sample? Write down 500. What's the sample proportion? Now, you might want to put down the decimal version. Why? Because you're going to use it. Is that right? Confidence level is going to be what? .95. Okay. Now, what I would do here again is I'm going to go out to my calculator. I'm going to kind of highlight this and remind myself that I'm going to have to use what? 1 proportion Z interval. Okay, I'm going to remind myself about that. And then I'm going to bring out my equation. You go, what equation? I did a little algebra. Not a lot. X is NP. Okay. I got to find X. Is that right? All right. How do we get that X value? X is now going to be what? Oops, let's get this. 500 sample size. What's the sample proportion? 0.382. What is X going to give us here, ladies and gentlemen? .500 times 0.382. Let's hope this is a whole number. If it isn't, we'll just approximate. Oh, they were nice. What does X equal? 191. Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have all the information to use our TI calculator. We have N, we have X, we have that confidence level, and we're ready. What do you guys think? Man, you guys are all going to get an A. Just don't do your homework the night before. Hopefully you started. I'm going to hear people talking. I'm going to get started on the binomial tonight. I'm like, oy vey. Okay. Let's relax. I maybe have to take that meditation study. I have to join you guys in that meditation study.
Guys, it's for my class, so if you could please make it, that'd be great. Because I need at least 50 participants. If not, my grade's gonna be. So please go.
What?
Yeah.
You need 50?
At least 50, if not more.
Okay,
I'll hook you guys up with snacks if you go on Monday or Friday. Because I'll be there.
okay, but let me don't tell this to your instructor though. Don't tell this to your instructor. You already have a problem with the study. Shh, don't tell them. Does anybody know what the problem is? What's the problem?
We'll show up for snacks.
Yeah, it only represents the people who what? Are favorable to snacks. If you guys see my point? If they say to you, we're going to give you a gift card, would you do this study? What's the problem? People show up for the gift card. Does it truly reflect, hold on, does it reflect people's true feelings? Or does it reflect the feelings of those?
If we could do that and offer snacks, you said it was fine.
Of course they did. I just want to let you know, if you want an A plus, put that on your answer. And say, Professor X, don't use my name. Just want to let you guys know, okay? Shh, don't tell anybody. Shh, don't tell anyone. All righty. Shh. Just saying, just saying. What do you guys go to now? Stat, test, go down to what? One proportion Z interval. What is X? Good job. What is N? Good job. What's your confidence level? 0.95. Are we okay? And then hit what? Good job. What do you guys see? 0.339. Okay. Look at that. 0.339. Less than P. Less than 0.42 what? And we get to say this with what? 95% confidence. So, ladies and gentlemen, so this, ladies and gentlemen, I wrote all this stuff down for you guys in our answers here. This represents the true proportion of students. Is it students or just people in general? Oh, people in general. The true proportion is somewhere between 33.9% and 42.5% of people who believe in what? Astrology. Now let's give you Mr. Judge's favorite questions here. And have you guys try one on your own, okay? See if you're awake. A survey of 120 college students revealed that, let's ask you guys, let's see, let's think about this. Revealed that 26% believe in what? Ghosts. Use the 90% confidence level to estimate the what? True what? Proportion. So I'm going to give you guys a few minutes here to do this on your own, and we'll see what you guys get, okay? this out? Let's see. Let's try this out together, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. Let's read this here. Okay. A survey of what? A sample of what? 120 college students reveal that what? 26% believe in ghosts. Okay. Use the 90% confidence level to estimate the true proportion. All right. All right. All right. Nice. Okay. So a survey is a what? Sample. When they say a survey of 120, what does that mean? N is 120. Good job. You guys okay with that? And then reveal that 26%. What is that X? No, it's a percent. So that's what? Sample proportion. And then what's the confidence level? Estimate the true proportion. Isn't that P? Let's do this, ladies and gentlemen. What's your sample say? The sample size is 120. The sample proportion is 0.26. The confidence level is what? 0.90. We are going to use, ladies and gentlemen, Z what? 1 proportion Z interval. Okay? Now let's see if it's still in our memory here. Yes, it is. Alrighty. Since they did not give us X, we're going to need to compute that, okay? 120 times 26%. That's the decimal representation of 26% right here. 0.26, 26%. All righty. You guys ready? 120 times 0.26. You go, Mr. Judge, what did they just do? I got a decimal. You weren't nice. My life is over. If I put 31.2 for X, I'm going to get an error. Okay, approximate that to a whole number. Is it 31? Whole number. The 1 is in the 1's position. Digit to the right's a 2. What does that mean I do to the 1? Stays the same. So, ladies and gentlemen, that was simple. Do you guys remember the homework on that? Look at that, ladies and gentlemen. You got everything you need. Okay. So we're going to go in the TI. What do we hit again? Stat. Test. 1 proportion Z interval. You guys okay with that? What is X? 31. What's the sample size? Outstanding. What's the confidence level? 0.90. You say, can I put the 0 if you want? Hit what? Calculate. You got your answer. And so, ladies and gentlemen, let's read what it says. Let's go to the thousands. What does that mean? 0.193. Good job. Less than P. Less than what? 0.324. We say this with what kind of confidence? 90% confidence. .93% and 0.324%. Okay. So this is like 19.3%, and then this will be what? 32.4%. We say this is the proportion who what? Of college students that believe in ghosts. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, easy peasy lemon squeezy. All right, let's go back and see in the. Let's go back here. So I don't want to remark here. I guess I want to go to the estimation homework. And those are the notes. That was the $1 million notes, by the way. Estimation worksheet. So I'm going to go back down here. 18. So here's what I'm going to do. What I'm going to do here is I'm still going through this here, ladies and gentlemen. This is 1 to 17 all, just so you guys know, because we missed that day. We didn't go to estimate sample sizes. So we missed it. We'll get back to that, but I have to say 1 to 17 all. I have to modify your homework because the day we missed, I wanted to talk about that. We missed the day, so I have to change this. This is why I modified and revised your study guide as well. So make sure you guys understand that, okay? Because I'll see you when Monday. Take care, stay safe, have a wonderful weekend.